former Dean, School of Social Sciences, Manipur University. Please, sir.
Professor Imphal E, Bigan Lenin, Dr. Sinha. Very exciting workshop. I am a professor of economics, and throughout we have been told that we need inputs for any production process, and later on we realize that having the inputs is not sufficient. We have to be able to organize those inputs, in the most effective manner. That is where entrepreneurs enter in. And now we realize that you don't ever need the inputs. At one time, our thoughts about industrial policy used to be constrained by the availability of inputs. But now, time has come, and technology and logistics have changed so much for the better that we are now even dreaming of, having production processes where we don't have the locally available raw materials. In fact, these entrepreneurs are going to play a very, very important role in the next few decades, particularly when India passes to the Amrit Kaal, to our 2047, the 100th year of independence. And what is happening is that everywhere there is a movement of rediscovering, or what we call reimagining the whole process. And even in economic policy making also, we are talking about all the time reimagining, rediscovering ourselves. The policies or the perspectives that used to guide us a few decades back are being very, very seriously questioned. And it is in this context that the whole process of rediscovering ourselves is actually becoming a very, very relevant exercise. And as my previous speakers that have presented very nicely on various aspects of these issues, we have the materials, we have the institutional mechanisms, and we have almost everything, but we don't get the results. Everything seems to be, too fine on the papers only. We don't have the results on the ground realities. That is where the entrepreneurs have to play a very, very important role. And as a matter of fact, there are basically two schools of thought, which actually believes that one school of thought believes that entrepreneurs are actually latent talents. You cannot cultivate entrepreneurship. It is already given in you, and either you have it or not. And another school of thought to which we belong actually insists that entrepreneurship has to be cultivated, has to be nurtured, and you can create it. It is in this context we are actually, when we talk about India's Act East policy also, we are actually contesting. We are contesting and re-questioning the earlier beliefs about our policies. And one very, very important issue is about these agro-based industries. We have talked about MSME, we have talked about these actually aromatic plants, medicinal plants, and so on. But the question is, are we in a position to catch up with the front runners in this race for development by adopting, by looking at these processes, and that is where we are actually talking about, revamping, rechanging, actually re-engineering what you call the comparative advantage. For so many years, for decades, that actually happened because of our own, understanding of the world that we have to actually develop by making better use of resources where we have the comparative advantage. But now, a time has come and ideas have developed that we need not be bound by these constraints of comparative advantage. Comparative advantage has to be created, not taken as given. That is exactly what our Asian tigers, that is the East Asian countries, did. They did follow this guidelines of comparative advantage. And if South Korea had been following the guidelines of comparative advantage, then South Korea, even by this time, would have remained a very, very agricultural type of country. But now it is actually able to actually export so many high quality manufactured items. And the same happened with Singapore and all other what you call the Asian tigers. And so that's why this time of the country is a very, very challenging time, in a sense that we are talking about Lucas policy, which graduated into X policy, and subsequently we are talking about the Amrit Kaal. We want to make the best use of our resources, and we want to be again the leaders in the world. As a matter of fact, not many years ago, say nearly 300 to 400, 200 years back, India was actually the most advanced country in the world. And when at that time, even UK and USA was not actually doing very well at that time, but India was doing very well. And in the last 300, 400 years, actually because of various reasons, because of various policy induced or these things, the Indian economy also actually strengthened. And one thing that we have to understand, particularly about the Northeast, if we want to catch up with the rest of the country and even with the rest of the world, is that this process of rediscovering ourselves should be taken very, very seriously, because when we became part of India, it happened that we were actually taught that whatever we have is basically inferior. It's just like what the British did to the Indians, that only what the Western ideas actually they are superior to the original ideas, But later on, the rediscovery is happening, and similarly, even in our case also. Now, actually, Yoren Tomba also has mentioned about so many, this thing, bioresources, so many, really items which are very, very readily available, but whose values we have not understood. Either we have misused them, or rather we have allowed them to be taken out of this region at a very, very unremunerated price. So this entire process of rediscovering ourselves should continue. And it is in this context, as I told you, the actually the financial institutions, as our banker colleague has explained, there are so many schemes about the so many products of the banking business, which can be developed by the entrepreneurs. Maybe actually we may not be able to understand the whole thing in detail right now, but it can be done. Say one example was one thing that I just noted was on this the scoring, the civil scoring by the credit scoring or civil scoring by the bankers to determine the credit worthiness of the various schemes. Now, who is going to do that? How it is going to be done? Those things should be shared with you. And we also have the huge this thing collection of bioresources and how those bioresources can continue to have this actually organic tech. It doesn't mean that if you are not using, I mean, you cannot just self-declare to be organic. And actually, there are many stories about in this area, where people used to buy, vegetables brought by the people from the hills, and when they found that it was becoming very costly, when asked why your products are becoming very costly, those producers, they just glibly told that they have to spend lots of money on insecticides and other things. So in other words, not having recourse of use of fertilizers in the hills doesn't mean that all the products from the hills are organic. Actually, we now have an unfolding narrative of extensive use of fertilizers for the opium plantations, for the poppy plantations in the hills, and which we are basically now waging a virtual war against that. So what I'm saying is that there are actually so many institutional mechanisms to give us the benefits. There are so many resources which can be developed, and these availability of resources and these institutions should be really properly taken care of. And it is here that entrepreneurship actually can come in a very big way. And what we need to understand is that one of the biggest constraints on scale of production in this area has been the size of the markets. We have to look for big markets to enjoy what we call the economies of scale. But for that you have to know the rules and regulations. So that is why a workshop of this type, where we are going to discuss capacity building for entrepreneurship development and also export-oriented skills, is very timely, because the entrepreneurship that we are going to develop will have a major role in opening the foreign markets to our producers. And the foreign markets, as we see in the Southeast Asian countries, and beyond that, you have East Asian countries also. It is actually huge. It is a huge market, and you can develop that in various ways. And now actually from ASEAN we are now talking about Indo-Pacific. So the vision is becoming bigger and bigger, and if we want to develop the opportunities, if we want to make the best use of these opportunities, then actually we have to develop the capacity building, and we will focus on these export skills. export skills, because as I said, a major share of the contribution of these entrepreneurs in the development of this region will be in export business, in exporting to the fast growing economies in the Southeast Asian countries, So finally, I would like to congratulate the organizers of this workshop for organizing this time of a very, very timely, workshop where experts will be sharing our resources, both in terms of institutions, both in terms of bioresources, both in terms of the rules and regulations of doing things, and on the one hand, and on the other hand, we have these young entrepreneurs, young people who are interested in taking up as a profession. So this is we actually tomorrow also we are going to have a very, very long interaction with many other speakers, and I really thank the organization also for giving me the opportunity of sharing some of my thoughts. But as you must have noticed, my
sir, sorry for interruption. We can hear you.
So there are few audience sitting on the virtual platform.
Oh, okay.
So probably they are not getting.
Yeah. So basically, I have tried to give share the broader perspectives of this whole exercise, and of course the nitty-gritties of the ground level realities have been presented by my other colleagues, and that will continue tomorrow also. And so I actually, again, I would like to thank the organizers, and also I would like to actually thank the participants also for sitting through all this thing, and hope this will continue also tomorrow also. Thank you very much. Thank you.